co-main event. Let's talk about the big two. Bullshit. Yeah, I know. Well, so
I'm about to flip the table. I'm starting
angry.
to get emotional. I got up. I couldn't even. Well, I got up like while watching it.
Yeah.
I was doing like this way too much, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stand up. That's it. I can't.
So the context of the day is that we went to bed last night because it's squad sparring on a Sunday morning. So we got up, left phones in flight mode, went to the gym, watched 2 hours of sparring. There was an embargo on any conversation around UFC, which is difficult in an MMA gym, as you can imagine. Then we went over to a local village to get coffee and supplies from the farmer's market, and someone bumped into us there.
Yeah.
And he was like, love your analysis, love your shows. Did you watch the fights last night? Holy shit, there was loads of grappling in the main event. And we was like,
No.
Don't tell us. So we've got all the way back to home, and we just sat and watched the whole event all the way through.
Farmer's market, we got told. Like, not an MMA place. It wasn't me, like, accidentally pressing Instagram 50 times and then going, no, and, like, flicking it out. It was at a farmer's market.
His two dogs were having a scrap like the co-main event, like Figueiredo, Moreno. Oh, these dogs were beautiful, weren't they? He had a puppy that was about 8 months that was constantly trying to bite the lead of his older dog that was about 8 years.
And his own lead to attack some other dogs.
Wicked. Anyway, it's amazing where you find MMA fans. Anyway, so the point is, we managed to get all the way home without watching any of them. So I don't even know what the repercussions are on social media. I know we got a couple of questions at the press conference about the decision.
Yeah.
But I scored it for Moreno. I thought that when the decision was being read, I thought Moreno was going to take at least 3 rounds.
Jamie, just cover your face.
You thought Figueiredo won it, did you? Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe we're a bit biased because we like Moreno. I don't dislike Figueiredo at all.
But I don't feel like I was being biased by thinking Moreno won the fight.
You kind of sounded like you were biased during the fight, if I'm honest. Fucking get him, fuck him up, get him.
I didn't say that.
You kind of did. And then you were complaining about Figueiredo clawing at his eyes when he was escaping bottom position.
You mean like his escape?
If it was the other way around, yeah, it was the eye claw escape, the traditional eye claw escape.
No, why fight for underhooks, reverse shrimps, anything, you know? You just whack in the eye.
That's it. People always pull away from eye pokes, so you can just, it worked well for him. Anyway, I thought Moreno won. I've not even looked at UFC stats, so this will be quite interesting. I had Moreno winning at least 3 rounds. I think actually I had him lose. I thought he lost 1 round, and I know that Moreno got knocked down. I mean, there were 3 knockdowns.
Yeah, but how much of it was him like also being off balance and not a straight?
Yeah.
Like I know there was definitely that knockdown with the right that he went for the choke, but because he was so like heavy on his lead leg and also getting kicked there, he was pulling that leg back and kind of like taking it to fall down with the momentum to his right.
Yeah.
And one of them, like, he fell, but he also like pointed at Figueiredo and was like,
big right hand at the same
I clipped
time.
you.
Yeah.
So
I think he made a decision to be in range and take some of those low kicks the way he did. Like, if you're in range for calf kicks, you've either got 2 options. You try and defend the calf kick, or you try and discourage them from throwing it again. And it looked to me like, instead of dealing with calf kicks all the way through the fight, I'm going to put myself in range, and every time he throws them, I'm going to smack him with something just to put him off doing it. And I mean, he did take a few good calf kicks, but then he also landed some good low kicks.
Good punches.
That spinning heel kick to the leg
in the
was
first
brilliant.
round, that was.
Did you hear what he said to Mystery at the press conference?
Yeah, because I'm a ninja.
I'm a ninja. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Mystery's like, yeah, people are going to be practicing, and I was like, oh, am I that predictable?
We're definitely going to see that at the gym tomorrow morning, no doubt.
Yeah, by me.
Well, okay, let's have a look at the stats here. So,
okay.
I mean, and I know obviously this is irrelevant because the stats don't tell us the story, but so in the first round, Figueiredo landed 15 of 23 significant strikes to 10 of 34 for Moreno, and landed 1 of 3 takedowns with a minute 18 control. So statistically, you've got to go with Figueiredo that round. Second round, Moreno outstruck him by 9 shots, 28 to 19. Slightly lower success rate, but then, I don't buy it the counting of these things anyway, because they're not taking into account feints and setups. No one scored takedowns that round, although Figueiredo tried 4, apparently. So, Moreno round for me, that one. Okay, so the third round, Figueiredo knocked him down twice, but was outstruck by a few shots, but also got a takedown. So again, a Figueiredo round there, I would say, on the stats. Fourth round, Moreno outstruck him by 5 shots and defended 1 takedown. I mean, I know this doesn't tell the whole story, but then Figueiredo landed 18, but with 1 knockdown. Yeah, you've got to score the knockdowns quite highly, but then he only knocked him down in 2 rounds.
But there was quite a few like moments where
I need to watch
Moreno,
it again.
like,
I've only watched it
him.
once. I need to watch it again.
I feel like I should watch. Look, Jamie, stop looking smug.
Because the thing is,
no coffee next time.
I need to watch it because the thing is, like I was watching it with we've not watched it having a prior knowledge of the result.
Yeah.
So as I'm watching it, I'm scoring it as I'm watching it like it's live. And I thought Moreno won. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
There was a lot of shots where he hurt Figueiredo, and
yeah, but he just doesn't have the same power as Moreno.
But not only that, because like Moreno was landing hard shots, but since he was taking that shot, like those kicks to the leg, you have to think like the momentum was also being swayed while he was moving, and he moves a lot more. So if you get hit with a shot and you're kind of more like prompt for it, you're less likely to lose balance or go off.
So do you think they're scoring the low kicks too highly then?
Yeah, I think they're scoring the low kicks way
Let's
too
have a look
highly.
where we're at. So
'Cause
Figueiredo
that's
landed.
an accurate, like that's I guess like an acceptable defense.
He was tucking them up a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And knowing that he's going to land on his knee. Like, worst case scenario, he's in on a takedown. But I need to watch it again. I was, like I said, I was confident that he'd won the decision when they read it out. I was surprised.
Were you surprised by his reaction? How he was just like...
I was surprised how well he took it. Because I felt like he would be sure that he'd won.
Yeah,
You know, even with the knockdowns, like he knows how many shots he was landing and how successful he was being. And he also has a much better understanding of the shots that he landed that would have hurt Figueiredo, which we don't get a clear look of because Figueiredo takes a shot so well. And Moreno doesn't have the same kind of power. But there were certainly a couple of times, particularly that little roll left hook that he's got. Yeah. A couple of times he caught Figueiredo with that. And if that was the opposite way around as far as the power exchange, I think he would have gone down. But yeah, I've got to watch it again. It was a hell of a fight. I am a big fan of Moreno, so I may have been a bit biased, but I do think he won it.
So would you like to see them fight again, or
I'm sick of watching them fight. I want to watch them fight other people in the division. I don't mind them fighting again down the line. But the best thing about trilogies is when they have a bit of time in between to like change, to adapt, like learn from the last time they faced one another. Like again, we go back to Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. Like they both, I think, had 3 or 4 fights in between when they'd faced one another. Like that's more of a storyline because then you can go, this was the first time they fought. Like Izzy and Whittaker coming up is perfect because then you've got. This is Izzy. He came in as the interim champ. He beat Whittaker, who was the current reigning champion, and now he's been on this amazing win streak where he's beaten all these guys to defend his belt. Whittaker, on the other hand, he kind of fell off a cliff after that fight, and then he had the rebuild narrative of getting back in the gym, loving grappling again, making his return against Darren Till in Fight Island, and having a rough first round, but working his way through. And you know, like that's a good story because now when they come back together. You don't go, oh, well, we've just seen this, so it's probably going to look the same. It's
kind of like the Max Holloway. Even though they did fight like right off the bat with each other,
yeah,
there is now this, did you see what he's done to his opponents the last couple of fights?
And it made sense after the first one because that first one was so close with Max and Volkov as well as with Moreno and Figueiredo. It makes sense that they went, okay, majority draw, let's do it again. Yeah. But after Moreno won the next time around, there was no reason to run it back again. Like, they should have both fought somebody else. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen Figueiredo fight Askarov, and I would have liked to have seen Moreno defend against Pantoja, because that's a loss that he could come back on. It's just like, it just ties the division up, and now Pantoja must have been sitting there watching, going, oh, fuck, I've got another 6 months now, or I'm going to have to fight one of these killers that's coming up. Like, Askarov's fighting Kai Kara France. I mean, it's a fight he should win, but if he doesn't, that puts Kai Kara France right up near the top as well. Brandon Royval, Had a great win against Bontarin. There's loads of guys waiting around. I kind of wanted Figueiredo to move up a weight class, but we'll see what happens. Now he's got to defend his belt against Moreno.
So what did you think of the post-fight?
And all the fucking barnacles hanging on to him. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It's not your fucking time. It's not your time. You can wear the biggest, loudest fucking studded, sparkly dickhead sunglasses you want. You can, like the thing is, the only person that legitimately should have been in there, and I was even cringing at him being there, was Henry Cejudo. Because he's a fucking champ. Like, okay, dude, but
he was the one not doing anything though. Like, not trying to take the.
He's there though, you know what I mean, and they're all there. But like you've got Captain Knobhead on one side, like always trying to get his face in, fucking, you know what I mean. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
Nice person.
He's one stage away from having glasses that say "Look at me," and they fucking light up with a button. It's just a bit much. It's a bit much. Anyway, and then on the other side, you've got Walid Ismail, who's Paulo Costa's coach, and I was ready for that guy to jump me. I thought he was going to jump me in Fight Island.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, I was legit. Yeah. I was ready for it. I was like, okay, this guy's going to be there. I'm expecting him to attack me in the lobby. Like, when he was fighting in Pride, he was a fucking maniac. He was a loose cannon. Like, testosterone up to the eyeballs, no fucking rules, no drug testing, making sure you're getting jabbed on the way out to the ring. He was like, that's how he looked in the corner. And like, now when you watch him at the side of the cage when fights are going on, you can still see he's still on it. Yeah, it's still there. But then he's over Figueiredo's shoulder, Skyping like 16 people on his phone at the same time. Like, I don't know whether he's paying for an appearance on fucking pay-per-views or something. Whole set of fancy fucking pearly white teeth. Like, delaying Joe Rogan trying to get photos. Hang on. Let's do one with the bunny filter. Hang on. Let's wait. Let's do this one. It looks like I'm still on steroids. Look how big we are. Look, fucking just let. And then on the other side, it flips over to Moreno, who's standing on his own up against the fence, and he's like, it is what it is. He could have been angry. He could have been, you motherfuckers. He could have been, we need to run this back. That was he was just, it is what it is. Same at the press conference as well. Mm. A beautiful exhibition of composure. And even when he was asked about his fans at the press conference, you kind of saw him open up a little bit, but then put it all back in the bag.
I think when he got asked questions in Spanish, he was a little bit more like emotion filled. I think it was a lot easier for him in English to shut that down, because you have to think, translating how you're feeling in a different language is not necessarily that easy, or explaining how you're feeling in that moment is not that easy. So when you speak to somebody, I guess for him in Spanish, that you can tell that the person asking you question idolizes you, right? Yeah. It's not just like some guy that is just trying to get an interview and questions and doesn't really care. It's like, then you kind of, I guess, ingest what it means to the Hispanic people, what it means to the Mexicans, and what it really means. And that you kind of, it's harder to hone in.
Do you think because, so going back to the translation thing, like if he's answering a question in English, mm-hmm. Is he going through a process of thinking, of translating it in his head? Do you think, or do you think his English is at the point where he now can think in English if he's being questioned?
No, I think his Spanish is a lot better than his English.
So then if he's thinking in Spanish, it's immediate, which means he can connect with the emotion quicker. Okay, so like the language, the translation process is like helping him keep a mask up. That's interesting.
Well, I need
to learn another language so I don't burst into tears at the press conference.
That's just like my personal take on it, because I feel like when you're going to speak a different language, you also have to think about how you can really say that, so it gives you that extra moment. And if you're also a lot more limited in the vocabulary that you do have, mm-hmm. so you have to think. And there's a lot of fighters, for example, that I'm watching a lot of French fighters right now, and they all go, oh, I'm very, very happy, and probably in French they could say a whole bunch of stuff that can really tell you how they feel, but then they'll just repeat one word and then get frustrated that they're no, and they'll be like, oh
yeah they can't quite say what they mean. That makes sense.
I will say, in the post-fight for Figueiredo, there was that small moment where
You loved that whole team around him, didn't you? You loved that whole everybody getting in on, like, sharing in the glory, like, we're all a part of the team. Everybody get a face in here. You loved it.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, you set me up, so I do all the shit talking on it, and then you can just sit there and it makes me look like I'm being a bitch.
Well, like, but before it all started and it got deviated from what it actually was, there was that moment that you saw that he had a little bit of pain, and you saw he was like, man, I've been away from my family for 4 months.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've given up so much for this. Like, so much sacrifice.
When they were booing, you mean?
Yeah, so much sacrifice has gone into. And it was a little bit less of him being like the bad guy, the villain or stuff, but it was like, okay, even if I was that, just appreciate how much I put into this because it was a lot of sacrifice. And I kind of felt like that pain that he portrayed it very well. They didn't say that. They ended up translating that far in the end, but it was already like the mask entourage was on to the response. So you didn't get that raw,
like the heartfelt part.
Yeah.
Do you want to see a rematch straight away?
I mean, I can watch them fight every single weekend and be just as excited.
They've missed the opportunity now to put a break in it because now they've got to rematch because the belt's gone back and forth. Now they have to do the rematch. Whereas if, like, Moreno could have won the belt and not defended it against Figueiredo immediately.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they'll do it immediately.
Now Moreno will win it, and then Figueiredo's going to demand a rematch, and then we'll just have the Figueiredo-Moreno division, and we'll just move on. We'll create another 125 division for everybody else to play in.
No, I think maybe Moreno might fight Pantoja next, and then Figueiredo might fight the winner of Kai Kara-France and Askarov.
Yeah.
And
they've set
then
Askarov up for a win there. I think.
And then maybe they'll fight each other again, but I don't think they'll go straight back into each other.
But that makes me nervous for Moreno then, because Pantoja's a killer, and he's already beaten him twice, and he's coming off a... Nah, I don't know. I think they might do the rematch immediately. But then even if they don't, that's going to be a 5-round fight. I mean, Moreno's gotten a lot better since the last time he fought Pantoja, but Pantoja's a killer as well.
I was once I think twice. I was in the, what do you call it, in the warm-up area with Pantoja. And I just saw him go like, just simple, man. You went from one to the next, controlling one position, controlling the next, controlling the frames, the hips, the arm. And it didn't look like this. Well, like the grappling version of Pereira, it didn't look like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go for this weird submission. I'm going to put my foot in and then do that. It was, no, I'm going to shut you down and just have crisp, beautiful grappling. I just remember just watching him being like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's what grappling
I hope he gets an opportunity. I think he's the only one that's not matched up in this division at the moment. Aside from
he's
Roy
injured
Valuz.
though, because I think he did get I think he was offered the Brandon Moreno fight, and I think the reason that they didn't fight right away was because he was injured. But I'm not entirely sure.
Fair enough.